In our last discussion, we explored what it's like to glimpse the force to feel the threads of influence that shape our lives, often through moments of shared, fleeting pain. But what if that pain, that awareness, didn't just fade away? What if, for the one who sees, the suffering of others lingers, accumulates, and becomes a permanent part of their own soul? This single change transforms our story from one of brief agnostic insight into a harrowing study of chronic empathy, trauma, and the sheer challenge of existential endurance. Imagine this. The fleeting glimpse of another's agony isn't a quick sting that you shrug off. Instead, every time you connect, every time you see the force at work, that pain is absorbed into you. It doesn't leave. You're no longer just a knowledgeable observer. You become a cosmic sponge for suffering. The very act of seeing becomes an act of bearing. This isn't about isolated moments of clarity anymore. It's about carrying a burden that grows heavier with each passing day, with each new connection. The mythopoetic framework completely shifts. The knower becomes the martyr. This transforms the narrator into what we might call the archetype of the crucified empath. Previously, we saw the connection through pain as a momentary bridge, a quick flash of shared humanity that then dissolved. But if the pain is sustained for the observer, the experience morphs into a relentless form of vicarious trauma. Mythologically, the narrator starts to resemble a Christ figure, or a Promethean martyr, eternally punished for bringing knowledge, or in this case, for simply having it. They're not just watching the effects of the force. They are personally shouldering them on behalf of a world that remains blissfully ignorant. Think about it. That momentary clarity no longer brings a sense of connection. Instead, it deepens the wound of isolation. Because the very thing that connects you to others, their pain, becomes a permanent scar on your own soul. You see their suffering, you feel it, and then you're left alone with it, long after they've moved on and forgotten. This sustained suffering elevates the narrator from a philosophical observer to a figure of almost divine pathos. They become the ultimate tragic hero, the one who feels the world's fundamental flaw most acutely, but is completely powerless to fix it. Every attempt to build that bridge of connection just re-traumatizes them, etching another person's sorrow into their own being. This also forces a complete shift in how one perceives this experience. In our original idea, there was a kind of aesthetic of anguish. One could, in a detached way, relish the suffering and appreciate the magnificence of its influences, because, for the subject, the pain was temporary. It was like watching a powerful, dramatic storm from a safe distance. But if that storm floods your own house, you can no longer appreciate its terrible beauty. If the pain is sustained for the narrator, the justification for relishing it completely vanishes. The aesthetic appreciation of the force's power is crushed by the overwhelming moral weight of self-inflicted agony. The coping mechanism seeking connection through observation becomes the very source of the disease. You're no longer appreciating a grand, cosmic drama. You are an active participant in a tragedy that is systematically dissolving your own capacity for joy, for peace, and maybe even for sanity. Each glimpse of pure essence, each moment of connection, is paid for with a new, enduring layer of personal suffering. You risk falling into a nihilistic abyss, where the search for human connection isn't a beautiful pursuit, but an unbearable tax on your dwindling internal resources. The brief moment of shared humanity is bought with a lifetime of unshared, personal grief. So, the fundamental question of existence changes. It's no longer how do you cope with these moments of insight. It becomes, how do you endure this existence at all without self-annihilation? When the very act of connection poisons you, what options are left? Since you can't fight the force, and you can't awaken others to its reality, the only true relief from this constant, empathetic agony would seem to be complete withdrawal, becoming a hermit, or, in the most tragic case, self-destruction. The original desire to peacefully dream yourself is no longer a philosophical choice. It becomes a desperate, life-affirming goal. It signifies the unbearable nature of true, sustained awareness. The role of memory becomes central to this torment. Unlike the average person, who exists in a dream state and quickly forgets their anguish, the narrator retains it all. They have an ever-growing, internal chronicle of the world's suffering. This transforms them into a living archive of cosmic error. Every painful memory, every scar they've absorbed from others, is filed away, creating a library of sorrow within their own mind. This is why, in this revised scenario, the narrator achieves connection at the highest possible price. They aren't just a perceiver of the force anymore. They have become its unwilling, human echo chamber, forever reverberating with the sorrows of a world that cannot hear its own cries. This reframing presents a far darker, more profound meditation on the nature of empathy and knowledge. It suggests that perhaps ignorance truly is bliss. and that the cost of seeing the world as it truly is might be one's own soul. The bridge to others becomes a path to one's own dissolution. It's a chilling thought, but one that pushes the boundaries of our original myth. It forces us to confront the terrifying possibility that some truths are too heavy for a single person to bear. Until next time, keep questioning the narrative.